Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Anya. I'm with Restream Marketing Team, and today with me is Romario from Product. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you doing?
Very, very good. Very excited to talk about our today's topic. Today we're talking about clipping, all kinds of automations, and how to really scale your short form video production. If you're streaming with us, recording with us, or are just completely new to Restream, there's a lot to learn today. So we are super excited. It's going to be more of a demo day type situation. So we will show you a few things, show a few tutorials and guides. But of course, as always, this is the show for you and about you. So your questions are the most important things that we want to address. We'll start with asking you to please let us know where in the world you're watching from in the chat. So we will see where our audience is today. If you want to share something about how you clip, how you use Restream, are you using Studio or encoders? Also, please let us know what kind of content are you streaming? Are you a DJ? Are you a marketer? Are you doing more like internal content stuff? Maybe you're doing video games. Let us know what is your jam, and we will definitely adjust our story a little bit for that. But before we get there, quick housekeeping. I want to make sure that I remind you guys to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. We're actively growing that channel, and we would love for you to be a subscriber. We put our heart and soul in the shows. We're live every Wednesday. It's a lot of work, and we would love to make sure that we see that kind of return on investment per se, right? Like we want to see that you guys are enjoying this content. So if you're loving what we're doing, please give us a sub. If you're watching on other channels, also make sure that you give us a follow. We're live today on many different platforms. That's what Restream is about. You can go live on multiple different destinations at the same time. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, X, TikTok, Instagram, and a few other paired channels, basically channels added by our team as guest channels. That's something you can do with Restream as well. Before we jump into the chat and talk about our core topic today, which is live clipping, clips, and automations, I want to talk a little bit about you, Romario, because I got some feedback from my friends who love our show and who basically watch it for entertainment that Romario is the most mysterious product manager that joins us. Like, he never talks about himself and like doesn't really share much about his story. So I would like to, so people can get to know you a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about, you have a fascinating story, actually. I happen to know it. But just a little bit of your background, when you joined Restream and where you were before, so people can kind of understand who is building clipping stuff for them.
For sure. On the spot right here. You, first of all, I just want to say you have great friends that, join every single time. I wish I had as great friends as you did. But my story is, personally, I don't think it's that interesting, but I could be wrong. I, started my career in product design, and I mostly worked in like content creation and content distribution products. So I was very much on the actual other side of the fence, which was creating the content and distributing it. And, I came across Restream last year, and it really is a culmination of all the things that I really enjoy. Not only is the content the distribution is the content in a lot of ways when you're working with live stream content. And I think in, the age of AI, this kind of more personal interaction, even though apparently I don't interact enough, is really, I think, the best way to be authentic and be present online. So yeah, I joined Restream about 6 months ago, and my focus is really on post-production, specifically turning live streams into short clips that our creators and our customers can publish to their channels, potentially export it, use it in all different fascinating ways. And what we're trying to really build here is the kind of content machine for you. So the minute you end your stream, or even during, as of a couple months ago, you will be able to get some short content and get that across. But yeah, I think that's pretty much who I am. I mean, I can tell you where I'm from and all these things.
Yeah, I was hoping you'll tell us because you have really interesting kind of like, because we ask people where they're watching from, and we'll acknowledge some chatters today because I see people are checking in from all over the world. You are kind of like an all over the world person, right? Can you tell us geographically how you kind of came to be?
I'm, I guess, a global citizen in a lot of ways, but I was born in South Africa, in probably a very, very, very southern city called Cape Town, which is really at the end of the world or bottom of the world, I'd say. But my family is Portuguese and I have very deep Portuguese roots. So I'm South African and I'm Portuguese. And I currently live in London and I'm about to become British. So I guess we've got 3 now. And who knows? Now that I've got that, I'm kind of looking for my next challenge. So if anyone knows of a nationality I should acquire or citizenship, let me know.
Well, I know you love to spend some time in France and Paris, so maybe that should be. I know you're learning French as well, so that's beautiful. One of the most beautiful languages, I think. And yeah, so maybe look there. But then there's obviously the whole world, is your oyster. I love that. That's really, really, really cool. So many awesome questions. I am going to jump straight into it. Whoa! Before we even had a chance to acknowledge specific people, they already filled up the whole thing. El Guapo from X sends us lots of hearts. Londoner in San Francisco checking in. Hello, Charles. You are making yourself recognizable. The announcer says hello. There is a football, also known as soccer, in the United States of America reference with England. Go. Yeah, definitely go England for sure. Love this Wednesday sessions from Better Call Zal. Good to see you back. It's awesome. I'm actually going to acknowledge that right here on top of everybody. We love to see you too. It's amazing when people come back over and over. The announcer is from England as well. Alex Bichok, England versus Argentina. Something tells me that our head of product might be rooting for not England. But I don't know. I didn't say anything.
We'll find out tomorrow morning.
We'll find out tomorrow morning. I'm doing wonderful in Maine right now. So right next to Acadia National Park. I love that park. I've been there a few years ago. It was a highlight of my summer. It's the most beautiful place. I hiked the whole the Beehive Trail, which is really crazy and technical, and it did not have hiking shoes. So there are some pictures that look like a fly, not in heels, but in normal shoes that don't have traction. It was terrifying, but we did it. We hiked it. Acadia is my love forever. Willa Fantastic is checking in from Austin, Texas. Rainy. It's true. It is crazy wet today. Final soon for soccer. Very true. I do educational streams around blockchain. Love that. That's a great topic. And Restream is a great tool for that. We have a lot of people who are doing trading, marketplaces, blockchain. So that's really, really fun. Head of product in Portugal is sending us a little flag. Hi, Alex. Good to see you. 7 from England here. That is awesome. The announcer live. Good to see you. Romario and bookshelves. That is always good. Okay.
I'm not on any books today.
Not on any books today. Job. That's a subtle reference of how sometimes we need to even ourselves out, and sometimes Romario needs a little extra books to sit on his chair. But today we decided
I'm using posture.
Today we're just using posture. Mainly do Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous streams, so would love to see some things replace the AI clipping feature or produce something on streaming. So we will be definitely talking a lot about clipping and how AI can assist you. So that is definitely the core topic. Greetings from Fish family, and there are people checking in, reluctant creators from Birmingham, United Kingdom. You are a brave soul, Anya. I think that's a reference for the hike.
No tread shoes.
All right, so let's jump into our topic today. So one thing that we recently figured out is that we reached 3 million clips generated by our creators. And I'm thinking about this number. That is massive, right? That's a lot of clips. Just think about it, 3 million. That's a population of, what is the population of London? Is it, how big is London?
More than 3 million, but I'm awful.
More than 3
I have this kind of trivia. I don't do pub quizzes, even though I live in the UK.
Yeah, right. But it's still it's definitely bigger than Austin, Texas, where I'm from. We are about 1 million people. So it's 3 Austin, Texases. So that's 3 million clips that were generated by creators since Clips launched, which was just this last year, this December. So that means that clipping is working for people, right? People see value in short form content. One of the biggest things that I see personally for Restream, because we're clipping like crazy all the time. And even this show, as we're speaking right now, is going to create live clips and live shorts that we will be posting as we speak. So if you want to see how live clipping works in action, you can actually look at our shorts on YouTube or on our page on LinkedIn, as well as on our X, because we'll be posting those clips while the show is still live. So you can actually see like how that cadence works. The value is massive because people who are hanging in vertical feeds and shorts are different people, right? Different people from your subscribers, different people from those who find you through live feeds. So that's a very good way to find new fans and find and unlock new audiences. Also think about the attention span, right? Like a lot of people are not necessarily ready to watch an hour of content, and even sometimes a 10-minute YouTube video is too much for them. But if you can communicate your message and get your narrative across with a 30, 60-second vertical clip, you potentially are unlocking a lot more customers, subscribers, fans, people who love what you do and what you build. So clips are awesome. They are very effective. There is a reason why social platforms push them and put them in front of new audiences, because they see that that's a winning format today. Making clips sometimes can be difficult. If you are not a professional editor and don't have an army of creators who can edit your content for you, you might end up paying a lot of money for that, and you might end up not even basically giving up on that whole thing because it's just a lot of work and time. Now, Restream solves that for you by automating it. So we're using AI to pick the best moments. We're listening to the conversation that you have. It's a language-based clipping, right? Like, so we're listening to basically reading the transcript of what you are saying during your show. And then based on the words that you speak, AI picks the moments that it believes will be the most interesting and the most kind of like high, potentially viral, right? Now, clips get created, and after the show, you can go and review the clips. You can edit them. There's a very powerful editor that comes for free with any clip subscription. But there is also an unlock of posting clips while you're still live, because that allows you to bring people back into the show while you're still streaming. So think about it from media team's perspective, right? Like if there is a soccer game between England and Argentina, the best way to get people to watch the game is to show little moments when people score, when there is some kind of like really heated moment, right? And when people see that, they might be interested in watching the whole thing. So you basically use it as a top of the funnel. It applies also to technical teams, big announcements, big product launches, company updates, breaking news, musical creators who are launching and announcing new albums and songs and live performances, right? Like all kinds of things could easily create short form content while the big event is still happening. And for the longest time, we produced those clips. You could get those live clips, but you needed a person behind the scenes to actually review and post. But that is changing as of today.
What a segue.
What a segue to auto posting. Do you want to walk us through this? What's auto posting, and like what does that mean for creators?
I think Anya kind of painted the picture of like we've really solved the main issue of posting while live and being timely while still live, which is inherently always been kind of an enterprise feature, not within our product, but like other products outside of Restream. And we really wanted to empower creators to do that in a cost-effective way. But at the same time, you are likely an incredibly small team and you don't have the time to review clips while actually being live. So really Act 1 was about creating that content as quickly as possible. And Act 2 is really about publishing that content right after that content has been created, so that you can really have a hands-off experience and focus on your live stream. So what auto posting does, and we're going to obviously jump into a great video of Charles shortly, but it is based on a couple of core criteria. You decide which channels you would like your live clips to be posted to. You can decide what kind of templatized caption you'd like to be across all of those channels. And you also define the virality score, being kind of the engagement score that we offer per clip, and how many per every 10 minutes you'd actually like us to post. So it's 4 like core criteria that allows you to post content on the fly. And I think like the core thing we used to see before is that people would usually end up only really posting live clips after the stream. And we have since introducing auto posting, we've seen that number reduce drastically, and that content is going out in a timely manner. So we are really actually empowering our creators to get that content out as quickly as possible and not just stopping at the generation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be fair, it was a pain in the ass, right? Like it was a pain to have somebody constantly watch and post, because when you are hosting, even when you're co-hosting, like in our situation, you still have to pay attention. You can't really open another tab and like fiddle with those clips. And while live clips had a lot of automations already, for example, one of my favorites is that we will already generate a description and title for that live clip, right? Like you don't have to come up with a name or title or description for it. But still, you kind of have to read it. And sometimes you might want to edit it a little bit. And you also sometimes, most of the time, want to review the clip, right? Like you want to make sure that it sounds good. It's not like cut in a weird way. It's rare. And as the model gets better and better, the framing and the picking of the moments is improving and increasing every day as we speak. But still, when you have a really high standard of quality, you do need to make sure that you can trust the system. So now, with auto-posting, that big pain is going away. And I think Charles says it best. So let's let him take it away.
This is Anya. She always wants me to post social clips while we are live, mid-stream. It used to make me tear my hair out. Figuratively. Look, Restream's live clipping is brilliant. The system grabs parts of the stream while we're live and makes social clips. But there was a huge issue no one was talking about. How on earth was I going to post them while co-hosting? I had to open another tab in my browser, choose which clips I wanted, where I wanted them, and then actually post them. Introducing auto-posting. Just go to Clips, Settings, make sure you like the look of things like clip duration, then turn on live clipping and enable auto posting. So that only the strongest moments post themselves, set the quality threshold and choose how many clips to post per 10 minutes of stream time. Enable the platforms, and then I like to add live in front of the auto-generated captions for each channel. This is so that any subscribers or new viewers see a clip, tap through and land on the live show. Auto posting is available now with live clipping on the 250 clips plan. Turn it on before your next stream. Cheers.
Bye, Charles. Well, that was good. I do think that, the biggest value of auto posting is, of course, for smaller teams, right? That the teams that could benefit big time from live clipping and from funneling people from vertical feeds into their live show and getting more subscribers, more fans, more customers, more leads. But also for large teams, I'm thinking about like the opportunities of scaling this, because we do have large customers such as NASA, NASDAQ, Shopify, Fin, right? Like we have big corporate streams that have super important information, like big launches. I mean, with NASA, like the Skywalk was recently streamed through us, right? Like it's a once in a lifetime event. It's really big. And they're like really cool moments from there. And of course, NASA has a lot of resources in terms of editors and creators. But if you're streaming on multiple different channels, maybe you're working with multiple different workspaces, maybe you're doing streams for different regions and different languages, actually constantly maintaining that clipping thing might become very difficult, and automating that part. So you might still have a supervisor person who's kind of like making sure that everything looks good, but at least some of the clips, especially once you start trusting the system and start trusting those criteria, such as top virality scores, certain durations, certain types of layouts that you can already set in just general clipping settings. I do believe that we can start trusting that system very soon. We're actually auto posting today. So normally in the end of the show, I call out all the people who helped us. So today on clipping, there will be just AI, nobody. So that's very exciting. If you have any questions about auto posting, we will definitely take them in just a few minutes. We do want to show you a few more updates that are super cool and super important for automations and scaling your clipping. So we're just going to go through them first, and then all your questions answered will be our number one priority. So please keep asking, keep commenting. Whether you have a question or you just want to share your experience with clips, if you have already used them, we want to see all of that. So keep chatting. And the next update that we have for you is the generation from specific section of the stream. That is something that people ask for a long time, right? Like, can I please choose the part of the stream and generate clips from there, versus basically give Restream the whole hour and a half of podcast and trust AI that it will dissect it properly and figure out the best moments. So now you can actually decide which part of your show is the most valuable and tell us to generate from there. And I believe there are 2 ways to generate, right?
Correct. So we have heard that people would like to obviously choose a certain range when creating a new project. But beyond that, we also know that once you have created a project, the largest pain is how do I generate additional clips once a project has been completed? This is one of the highest voted feature requests that we've been working towards the last couple of weeks. And as of yesterday, you can open any existing project and you can select a range on the timeline, which up until this point was more of like a reference tool for you to like very quickly navigate across your entire project based on the timeline of the video. You can now actually select a range and you can hit generate. And at that point, you will be offered the opportunity to either create a single clip, which is again been a huge feature request from our customers, which is I actually don't want you to decide what my clip should be. I already know the moment, and you can actually do that now. Or if you still want us to define that for you, you can just hit highlight mode, and that will essentially create as many clips as you request based on the controls settings you've put up. And I think all in all, we've kind of like have the full life cycle now of generation. It's whether you want to just automatically create a project at the end of a stream versus you want to very specifically do it yourself and select a certain range. And now once you're inside the project and have an existing project, you can then decide if you want an additional clip or you want us to define a whole bunch more. So I think we've really like created a large unlock for our customers and our creators to really create additional moments that potentially AI miss, but you at the end of the day know your audience the best and you know what content works. So this is really an additional powerful tool for you.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting step away from automation, but more of control for creator, right? Like, so you can trust the system to cut everything for you and auto post, and you don't have to even touch that. Or you can actually jump in and say, no, I do know a moment and I want to generate from that specific moment. This is really cool because I believe that soon we'll continue expanding on that feature. And of course, I know that a lot of people are asking us questions about like, how can you for example, search for specific keywords, right? Like I know that I said something in the show. Can I search for a word that allows me to then pinpoint that moment? Or can I just press something to clip something, right? Like, so this is kind of like step in that direction to satisfy that need for you to control and to pick the moment that you believe is better than any AI can pick for you, right? Like, so it's not necessarily making it more automated for you, but it gives you more control, which is a cool balance, I think, to catch with AI, right? Because you don't want to automate an AI everything. There are certain things mundane and repetitive and redundant that you want to delegate to robots, but certain things stay with humans. And we had this great conversation a few weeks ago with Enrico from Flask, who was like talking about how taste is one of the things that AI will never be able to basically take over, right? So that is the opportunity to exercise your taste and choose those moments and generate from there. And I can see new clips are ready. So we should be posting new live clips right now. So if that's what you want to see, how this auto posting works, we should be posting few live moments shortly. But let's hear from Charles. Oh, I wanted to make sure that I highlight a few of these comments. So, okay, Camp Rock Hoodie, Rock, and Charles with 3 fires. So clearly people want more Charles, and you ask and we deliver. Let's hear from Charles on how the clipping from selection works.
On the live stream a couple of weeks ago, we were joined by Enrico from Flask. It was awesome, he's awesome, and the clips were gold. But I know that there are a few more nuggets in that stream. This is how to generate more clips from your favorite part of a stream or video. Alright, I've opened up the Clips project for the live stream and I'm looking at the whole stream on the timeline, where I can see we have already made a lot of clips. Running along the timeline, I can see Anya and I chatting, then Enrico arrives and at the end, he's left the studio. Now, in the middle here, he did this really cool demo. I think there's more to use here, so I'm going to click and drag to highlight this segment. Hit generate. I might just expand this section a bit here. Okay, now I can choose to make multiple clips or a single one made from just that range, and I'll hit generate. And in a few minutes, the clips will be ready. This is all in the same project. No re-upload, no painful scrubbing through footage. So go back through your old streams and pan for gold, or start afresh with an upload of any video you've got, not just your live streams. Generating clips from a selection is now live on every Clips plan, so go find those nuggets. Cheers.
I really like how this Restream Clips gets burned into the scene. So Charles, if you're watching this is a cool effect. I really enjoy it. Yeah, keep it up. Good stuff. I do want to take a few questions before we transition to our automation. Back to automation is up next. We will talk to you a little bit about how you can clip from your uploaded videos using AI tools such as ChatGPT and Claude, something that you probably as a content creator already spend a ton of time in. We had a whole conversation and whole stream about how to use MCP server, Restream's MCP server, to control certain aspects of Restream, how you can create and schedule events, update titles, check the health of your channels, and of course, download recordings. So MCP server now also works with clips, but there are certain nuances there. So we'll show you a few things in just a minute, but I know that we are exploding in the chat. So I am going to go ahead and jump to a Q&A real quick. You can continue asking questions in the chat on what you have already seen or something that you want to see. By the way, feature requests are also welcome. We always tell people to go to ideas.restream.io to submit your requests. So that's a place where our team looks at daily. That's where marketing team looks at daily to understand what parts of Restream need better explanation, better marketing, better tutorials and guides. So we definitely look there. So don't feel like upvoting or submitting ideas is going into the void. We constantly check out that space. But we also do now with new analytics and with new and better ways to repurpose streams. We do look at the chat. So if you submit your ideas and feature requests here in the chat, we make notes and we actually share that with product team as well. So feel empowered to do that. But first, a few questions that we got today. All right. So question here. You should be at 6 million by the end of the year. That is in relations to our 3 million clips generated celebration. I do think that's realistic, right? If we started with just a few in December when we launched, and by July we hit 3 million, do you think we're going for 6? What's your take?
I think it's pretty possible. Every single million is going faster than the previous one. So I see no reason why we shouldn't hit 6 by December.
Yeah, absolutely. Divillet TV. I'm curious as how the AI would know what and when to clip. Would there be a voice activation similar to Alexa where I say, hey, clip this, and they would save the last minute or so? I mean, we kind of touched on how the clipping works, but I think it's worth breaking that down again, since especially there was a question in the chat, and that question was submitted in advance. So how do we know what will be clipped?
I feel like this one might be more about live clipping. I don't know if you disagree or not, but I think
it's mostly about live clipping. Yeah.
Right now, what we do for live clipping is we stream every 10 minutes in 10-minute chunks. And once we receive those 10 minutes, the models look at the transcript and it finds basically 3 great moments, if there are 3 great moments. But I think what this comment is really alluding to, and it is something that we've also had some requests about, is the concept of, I want live clipping, but I also want to define what that moment is while I'm actually streaming. So I think we are seeing a lot of end platforms starting to look at actually clipping while streaming. And this is definitely something that we are exploring, the ability for you to actually define the clipped moment while still streaming. Whether that will be via voice dictation or a simple discrete command or a button on the screen is really, it's too early for us to say. I think they all have a time and place, but I think voice in general is probably going to be the one that is personally used the least, just because it is not discrete, right? In the middle of a stream, like us randomly shouting, clip that, is not necessarily the smoothest experience. But if you got your hands busy, maybe you're a gamer and you're streaming, maybe you need voice dictation. But in that case, yes, we would essentially look at probably the last few seconds, whether that's 2 minutes or what, and that will be kind of the buffer period where you can decide how much of that you want to turn into a clip. Versus right now, we look at 10 minutes and we generate off of that.
I have more of a philosophical question, well, product philosophy question, I guess, for you on this one. Do you feel that AI does better job clipping better moments when you're using something like live clipping, and the longer content is kind of chopped up into those 10-minute increments versus when it gets, let's say, an upload of a whole hour, right? And it basically has to decide from that 1 hour. Let's say you set it on something like make 3 clips. That's a crazy ask, right? Like, even for a human, like, watch this 1 hour of content, you and I covering all this stuff, us fooling around in the beginning, like, and pick 3 killer clips, right? Like, that's a lot to ask. Versus when you chop it up and say, okay, what's best of this 10 minutes? What's best of this 10 minutes? How do you think about that?
I think there's pros and cons to each of them. I think if you're thinking about speed, the shorter the video, the faster you're going to get a clip. But we know with AI in general, context is everything. So the longer the video, the more likely the quality might be higher, just based on the fact that it has a better understanding from like A to Z what the stream is about, and it's able to determine like what is meatier. Whereas 10 minutes is quite an isolated segment, and I think even a manual editor would struggle with like 10 minutes versus an hour. It's a bit easier to find something, but it takes much longer. So I think with going from just like looking entire stream to then looking at 10 minutes to now potentially a user being able to, or customer being able to just say the moment, it means we do go faster in generating that content and getting that distributed, especially if they can define what that moment is. So I think it really is a bit of a balancing act where we need to give models enough context, but we also need to ensure that there is speed in the processing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Good stuff. Great questions are coming in. I actually screenshot one from X that came like as a comment to the announcement of the show. So more questions are coming. I would like to address a few questions about pricing, because we'll actually touch on that a little bit. Do you have to pay for clips? That is from Louis Talk City. And then there's also a question, will this be a paid content or is this for free users? I assume this is also a pricing question, because obviously all the content we make is free. And when you create your clips, you decide how you want to distribute them, either paid or free for all. But on the question of paying for clips, yes, it is a paid feature. Here we go. And we have different tiers. It is an add-on, so it's not something that you have to buy with your Restream subscription. If you feel like you need AI-assisted clipping, then you can upgrade. You can start with our smallest plan, which is only, I believe, $19 a month, and it is 50 clips per month. So if you're just exploring, trying it out, if you have a show that only happens weekly, 50 clips are probably plenty for you to start. And as you scale and as you grow, you can upgrade to more clips. And then as you go up in plans for clipping and add-ons, you unlock features like live clipping, auto posting, and other cool things. However, generating from a specific range is available on all plans, so you do not have to upgrade additionally for that. That is something that you can do even on our smallest starter plan. There is a reason why clips and AI clipping costs money. As you know, AI tokens and AI processing of large video files is an expensive endeavor. So for us to provide the best experience for you, for us to continue to innovate and basically get that model to create clips that you'll be proud to post, we do need to invest in infrastructure, in engineering, in all kinds of work. And primarily, we just literally have to pay for AI credits in order to process your content. So that's why, unfortunately, that feature cannot be offered for free at this time. But starting from $19, 50 clips a month is a pretty good deal for a professional or prosumer team. And again, it's something that you can mix and match with your subscription, right? Like you can upgrade your Restream subscription or downgrade your Restream subscription and kind of like figure out like what's the best balance of other Restream offerings and clipping. That's why it stays as an add-on. I don't know if you want anything to add to this.
I would just add to it that we also offer a trial, right? So don't feel like it is you all in and you've just got to pay the 19. Like you do have a try before you buy experience, and I highly recommend giving that a go for your next stream. So if you can time it, because it's obviously a time limited trial, time it around your stream, make sure Autopilot is enabled, and kind of feel the entire workflow and see if it works for you.
Also, if you don't have any streams right now or coming up, but you want to still test how clipping works, you can also upload a video and then use that trial to create clips from a video you already have. So for some of our creators, live is not a thing. They're basically using Restream Studio as a recording studio. You can still do that. You can record yourself and then clip, or you can upload an existing content and then clip from there and use that trial to make sure that the clips are to your liking. If something is not working, our 24/7 live human support is there to help you out. So if you need help either with onboarding or have any kind of quality feedback for us, we're always listening. This feature is still relatively new as Romario, about 6 months old in the Restream ecosystem. So we're still open to feedback and open to making it better based on what you need. So let us know how it's working for you. Al Bachok, our head of product, is saying, I really like the idea of saying clip it during live and AI would post it. That is really, really good idea. I agree. I guess the question is, how do you not say it by accident? And then, especially if it's posting it right away, that's kind of a lot of controls with just one word. That especially in our streams, right? Like it's very common for us to say it. We say the word
not
clip.
going to work for us. So maybe
this stream would be like clip, 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 clip all the time because we keep saying that. But yes, or maybe you can create
custom
your own
words.
code word.
Yeah,
custom words, exactly.
Custom words, yeah.
Exactly. Your word
We've got
might
to find
be
a code name.
Kangaroo. Yeah, or something.
Eagle, turkey.
Eagle, turkey. Exactly. That is so cool. All right. Will the system eventually have some kind of feedback loop so it can see how those clips performed? And maybe if they drove traffic? Self-learning. Good question. So right now in our analytics, if you are posting live clips, you can already see the stats. And I am actually going to pull it up. So Romario, feel free to take over. I'm going to find our analytics and I'll show you how the live clips work in the previous streams.
Yeah, so this is something we've also heard some of our customers share, and it's definitely where we eventually want to go and create a kind of self-learning experience. Right now, what you can do is at least see the views of your clips. But I think beyond that, it's really about us kind of stacking the layers, starting with views, then it's about comments, likes, and then beyond that, it's really starting to think about, okay, how does that impact future generations? But right now, we currently only offer the ability for you to see the views at the current moment in time.
Right. And this is an example of real stream analytics from Restream channel, right? Like it's our real show that we did with Matt on MCP servers. So you get the analytics for views and messages and also the percentage points. I don't know why it's going so crazy, but I guess we did something right that time. And here is the clipping. So these are the stats that we got from our live clips that got posted while we were still streaming. And you can also see, like, you can see the total clip views, and you can also see the breakdown per platform. So each clip generated certain results on the platform. So here's Mario, our friend, our testing channel that was testing auto posting at that time, and now it's not testing anymore; it's just doing it. So this is what you can see already in analytics. So hopefully that makes sense because that is available today, right now. In the future, of course, we plan to add more things. Some of that, like Romario said, depends on end platform APIs. So as soon as more information becomes available to applications like ours, we will definitely deliver to you, because I believe in feedback loops big time. And I do feel like, yes, seeing the outcomes of those clips is probably the most mind-blowing experience for me personally. When I see that the clips are generating, even from that crazy good stream that generated over 30,000 views across channels, 5,000 were from vertical clips, from live clips, right? That's a big percentage of that overall chunk, right? And that's in addition. And that's the audiences that probably are not subscribers, probably not necessarily watching horizontal content. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff right there. I do want to drop in this comment because it's also kind of like a philosophy of product question, if that makes sense. So Internet Tour, right? Internet Tour Guide is saying, Restream, I love the service. I use it almost daily, so I'm friendly. I love how people on X feel compelled to make sure that they set the stage for this is not.
I'm a good one.
Yeah, I'm a good one. I'm good. And that's why I picked that question, because I felt like it was very valid. But watch the video. This was on the guide about auto posting, by the way, just for the contest. So is this aimed primarily at folks and teams that do not or cannot edit? I asked because I heavily edit my stream clips to make them watchable. And it's tough to imagine editing with enabling that with zero editorial oversight from me. It's a great question. I love it. I dig it. I am pretty obsessive about the quality of clips that go on our channels, so I completely understand the concern. However, there are some controls that you have as you preset your auto posting clips, right? So maybe let's go over them one more time for those people who are just checking in. What can you control? Why is this not zero editorial oversight, even if AI is clipping and Restream is auto posting?
I think there's a couple of reasons, but the core things we're looking at here is the engagement score, right? Or the virality score. And you really set that, and you set how many per 10-minute segment you want to have posted. But beyond that, I think it's also really about your template that you set up that really is going to enable you to have successful clip generations. So that's really about defining the layouts that you like. So over time, you will define that, there's only one very specific layout you like, and you prefer a certain type of focus mode, whether that's speaker or you want everyone on the screen. I think it's also about defining how long you want that clip to be. There's all these small nuances that you can set up once, and then specifically within auto posting, it's about just defining, okay, this is the kind of frequency I'm looking at, and this is kind of my high bar on engagement. However, there's always going to be room for improvement, and it's all subjective. So as the model improves, the ask for editorial oversight is probably going to drop more and more. I think also with time, we are looking at how can we give you the ability to also direct AI as into what part of the streams are the most important for you. So it's about us learning and building more and more tooling that is more preemptive and proactive in actually creating the content that you really like. But it's going to take us a while to get there. So yes, for some people, this is maybe not the right tool right now, but I don't think that's going to be the case with time, right? We've seen that if you go back a few years when we first had like the first video generation model of Will Smith eating spaghetti versus the version we have now, we're in a completely different space. But I think there's still a human touch. So it is really, at the end of the day, up to you. But I think with time, it will improve. And I'd also want to say that, in my personal opinion, if you post something and it's not necessarily up to your high bar, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that was posted. I think content has such a short life cycle that people view the first few seconds and they might not watch it anymore, right? I think if you're unhappy with a piece of content, you can also remove that. So I think it might actually release some people from this like over editorial experience to actually just like more is better, and the volume is more important than necessarily like the perfect clip, because at the end of the day, it is completely subjective.
100%. And the power of posting more is just so easy to underestimate. Like, so many people are thinking it's kind of like going live too. It's like very similar concept there, that like, oh, I can only live stream if I have a perfect demo, if I have everything figured out, if I have the best guests, best cameras, like crazy good setup. All of that helps. All of that builds authority and trust. Absolutely. If you show up to a stream prepared, we spend days building out those streams, especially if we're demoing and showing you something, right? Like we have some more like Q&A, ask me anything, fireside chats, like kind of like chit chat things. But even those, we're researching news, we're looking at what are the kind of like market movements, like interesting stories. And it is a lot of work to build that. But in the end of the day, what your audience wants is for you to show up and give them information that's already in your head. It's not about great designs, it's not about great cameras, and it's not about perfectly edited clips. I do have some opinions on that as well, because we started posting short clips on Restream YouTube channel last year. So it's about 2 years since we started, probably around summer, spring last year. Maybe even 2 years ago. So we started very small. We didn't have clipping tools, so we had to like actually edit every single short. We started to create tutorials and guides in vertical format, just in case some people would never see our full uploads. And the results were magical. We got tons and tons of views. I believe I at some point created a little counter of how many views we got on short form content versus the long form. And it was like millions of views over the course of a year. Views that we have never gotten. And some of those shorts were very creative and heavily scripted and edited. Actually, if you go to Restream YouTube channel and go to the short section, you will actually see the difference, because some of them would have thumbnails and big letters that Charles puts on top. Those are mostly, actually, I might just go and like show it to you guys. Because why not show a window? So you can see the difference between some of those. Let's see, YouTube Restream channel. So it's just magical how much value you get out of that stuff. And yes, it's very easy to forget that you don't have to have an army of editors. It does take a lot of work to create like those perfect videos, right? So let me get to our channel and get to our shorts. And we are live. That's so cool to see. All right. So here we go. Our screen share, YouTube, share. Whoa. And this is also perfect segue to the fact that we are live clipping, right? Like these clips are being posted automatically. So you see the difference, right? Like we have some of those like more edited ones where like this guy, for example, is clearly a vertical version of the tutorial that we just showed you here. There are clips that were repurposed from the content that we made. So this is a live show, but because it has this like big letters, it means that Charles did edit it and added certain titles on top of it. And then there are these clips that are clearly just live because they don't have like the perfect framing. They don't have any kind of like special edited like thumbnails and things like that. But look at the numbers. So this, I don't even know what to compare it with, but let me see. Okay. AI lines have no value. Okay. So this is clearly edited, right? Like you see like Enrico, it looks really good here. And there is this line, there's like an emoji. So that's not something that auto posting and Restream Clips will generate for you right now. 692 views, not bad. Then this clip of me and Matt talking about how to use Claude and ChatGPT to control Restream Studio, 900 views. Zero editing, literally auto posting, live auto posting. So my point here, I guess, is that you never know what is going to hit home for your viewers. And yes, if you have strong opinions and you love to edit, you absolutely should invest time in editing, but you don't have to do it for every single piece of content, if that makes sense. All right, so here we go. There are a few more questions I would like to take. Romario, do you have a favorite question that you would like to go into?
Let me open up chat. I hide it because it, really distracts me from you, and I hate moving my face there and back and forth.
I'm back. I promise. I'm back. All good. Don't worry. I do like I do like this. I have a few questions that I planned that I thought were really cool. So this question is also related to clipping and kind of like monetization stuff. I know someone is doing their own clipping using AI. They are using £7 Max Studio and external API tokens, and it's still hit or miss. That's a great context right here, right? For content creators, you can spend a lot of money on creating your clips, and you can have a lot of editorial control. You can hire a lot of people to help you do it manually, and it does not guarantee that you are going to get way better results. It can, depending on how good are the people that you hire and how good are the tools that you're using. But yeah, this is a really good, I think, number to keep in mind. £7,000 for external API tokens. Oh, it's a lot of money.
I have not heard someone spend that amount of money to just create clips, but that's impressive. All of our plans are cheaper than that.
Yeah, that's like even like annual plan, which we'll talk about soon, is way cheaper than that. I did a little research for our sales team because they did want some references of like how much does it cost to hire an editor to clip. And on average in the United States, you are looking at between $50 and $300 an hour. $50 an hour is going to be some really freelance student of some kind of like video creative college. Like I could basically hire a kid to like help you at an intern level. And then if you hire someone much more professional with like a lot of experience, with all the tools that you need, you're looking at more like $300 per hour to edit or clip for you. So that's a lot of money and then there are packages that you can get from either agencies or professional creators. Like if you want someone to kind of like be on retainer and repurpose and clip every single podcast, you're looking at thousands of dollars per package, which will include probably multiple videos, multiple different assets, multiple different variations. So you're not paying for like 3 or 5 clips in that situation. Maybe you're paying for processing like 2-3 podcasts that you created during the months and like multiple different categories of clips and repurposed pieces of content. But still, like that's quite pricey, especially for smaller teams. So something to keep in mind. You can always research that and see how much would it cost for me to hire a clipper. And yeah, you might be surprised when you think about like, is this investment, like what is the ROI here? What is the ROI there, right? Like depending on what you're looking to achieve. VKJTV. With AI, will the clips be updated to include AI-produced B-rolls that are added automatically for approval of the crew? And then he corrected himself saying that is going to be creator. So creator will approve. So basically, will we have B-rolls that are added automatically, and then you can preview that and then post either for live clipping or for automatically generated that are not auto-posting, because you cannot preview anything if it's already out.
Yeah. So in the editor, you can already toggle on B-roll, and it will add throughout your video. Those B-roll moments are from stock libraries that are licensed, and you have the option to select those moments of the B-roll. You can swap it out for something else. You can upload your own B-roll, but we do already offer this. If there's something specific here that you are looking for in your workflow, like please share it in the chat. We'll look at this afterwards and really take a look at how we can support you there. But as it stands now, we offer B-roll, and that is automatically added to your clips.
Nice, good stuff. Halbachok is saying, you need a safe word for posting, and that'll respond with a kangaroo. I do think kangaroo is a good one because it's very unlikely to just randomly, accidentally appear in your content. So let's talk a little bit about MCP and how ChatGPT and Claude can help you clip. So we recently released some controls from Restream to MCP server. What can you do with clips if you're using ChatGPT and Claude all the time in your daily work?
For sure. Like Anya said, we've released some controls. So the disclaimer is we still have a lot more to release across the entire product, but specifically in clips, what you can right now do is create content from your uploaded videos in Restream storage. But very soon, in the next couple of days, you'll be able to create from links. So you can drop a Dropbox link, you can drop a Google Drive link and any other public URL to create content from that. So that's going to be another great way for creators to just jump in. And if you maybe haven't started using Restream to stream, or you kind of exploring the product, this is a great way for you to also test it. And then additionally, we will very soon allow you to also do it from recordings. So that will also be in the next week or two. Beyond that, right now, what you can do is create those clips. You can view your projects. You can go through all of your clips, and you can also export these. So I'd say like our kind of 3 next milestones are allowing you to create from recordings, create from links. Then it's about giving you the ability to start an editing session very soon. So once you have generated links, maybe you want to quickly open up the editor, make a tweak. And then our final one is really about, once you have that content, can we publish that on your behalf? And that's really kind of going to be the full life cycle for people that are spending more and more time in these apps.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have a quick demo, right? A quick screencast that shows like how that could look at Claude. So let's have a look before we come back to more questions.
Yeah, in this case, like I very simply had a video in storage. It was actually off the YouTube algorithm recap that you and Charles did a couple weeks ago. And this was me kind of setting up Clips MCP for the first time using Restream MCP. And all I did was, here's this video. I'd like you to create a bunch of clips for me. And he just created a bunch. I then asked for it to share some download links, and then I downloaded them. And that's essentially the full workflow there. There's obviously, in part of that life cycle, again, is bringing editing to this experience. And then beyond that, also posting. So we hope in the coming weeks, we can really give you that full life cycle. So please play around with it. Give us feedback. It's super, super early days. We release this like less than 2-3 weeks. So the more feedback, the better for us to actually get this as improved for you as possible.
Yeah, let us know what you would like to see, like what are the core functionalities for you. For me, definitely clipping from recordings would be something that I aspire to see the most, because the most valuable clipping for me is from our live shows and interviews. And sometimes we don't necessarily even go live, right? Sometimes I would record an interview with a customer for a case study, a little video testimonial with somebody who used us. But recordings is kind of like the main space where I work. So I'm really, really looking forward to being able to just tell Claude as I research live streams, hey, by the way, what was that last recording that I did? Can you get a few really cool moments for me? And of course, yeah, the ability to just tell your AI assistant to post, that would be awesome. Especially if it can actually give you the preview, so you can kind of look at it and say, okay, that looks good, that sounds good, the layout is exactly what I want. Just shoot it out. Yeah, I want it on my all of my channels, and that way it kind of like keeps me in that flow of researching content, which I do use Claude and ChatGPT a lot to research and understand like what kind of topics, what kind of titles, what kind of descriptions should we use, and then right from there, also for analytics, right? Like we kind of covered that with Matt last week. That super valuable part of MCP is basically to tell your Claude AI to pull the analytics and analyze the stream, analyze the chats, analyze the numbers, pick viewers, missed questions, and then build your next piece of content around that. And then now you can actually say, okay, so I saw that people asked this question in the chat multiple times. Create a clip from in relations to that conversation and that topic, maybe those keywords, that kangaroo, and then we can immediately post it after. Like that's the future I envision for MCP servers and being able to control that stuff through Claude. So yeah, here's your piece of feedback real quick here. Now, let's take a few questions. I do see that there's some stuff there. Like, I mean, one of the things that I think is really funny, I see a question, Bottomus Prime And you mentioned that we will not take it, but here we go. I'm going to take that question because, of course, we're absolutely brave to do that. This is what these live conversations are for. This is not just like a marketing, polished ad stuff. This is a real conversation and authentic exchange. So your opinions matter and your point of view matters. That is shaping what we do and what we prioritize in our roadmap. How about you use an editing tool and make your own videos? Like, are we serious here? Yes, you can absolutely use an editing tool and make your own. By videos, I'm assuming you mean clips because that's what we're talking about here. You can absolutely do manually edit out your clips from your content. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And for a lot of people, that's the preferred way to do it. Is it something that every single team can do? Is that every podcaster that is creating valuable and quality content, does everyone has the skill? Does everyone know how to do that? Does everyone have time to necessarily do that? That is the question I kind of invite you to ask. Because for me personally, for example, I do host the streams for many, many years, host hundreds and hundreds of interviews, conversations, product launches. And for me, my editing skills are very limited. I do have other skills that are hopefully valuable, but being a great editor is not one of them. I am very fortunate to have a great team behind our marketing here at Restream. I have Charles, I have Becca, I have amazing people who are helping me to create content. But not everyone is that fortunate. Not everyone has a team behind them to be able to edit. So if this was my personal podcast, I do not know how I would edit clips. I mean, I would probably figure that out, but it's a long learning curve for me. And I would probably engage in that because I would want to know how to do it, but it would take me time. And for me to speed up the process of growing my channel and to engage more people, knowing that algorithmically shorts are just very effective and performing really well, it would not make sense to first learn how to edit before I can effectively push that content on my channel. So my choice would be to use automations like AI clips in order to get myself a head start. Now, another question is, do you even have the time to do it, right? Like some people, if I was a senior executive, a CEO of my own company, I don't know if my schedule even allows for playing with editing tools and like figuring out this content piece, even though I have a lot to say and I have a lot of value to bring to my followers and potential clients. But I might not necessarily have the physical time to do that because I have a company to run, right? So those are some questions that I think we should ask, whether you should use your own editing tool and you make your own videos or not.
Yeah.
Romario?
Yeah, I have only one thing to add here, which is our clipping tool and most clipping tools. I'll even like give a shout out to all the other clipping tools. Like they are not there to do the entire job for you. It's getting you to 99% of the way, right? You are still in control of that last mile if you want to be. You can open up that editor. You still can reframe. You can still tweak. You can still split the clip. It is really about helping you find those moments quickly as possible. But you, at the end of the day, have the power in getting from 99 to 100. You are in control of that last mile and putting your touch, and you have the ability to cultivate and make it tasteful in the way that suits your audience and suits you. It is not there to fully replace you unless you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see there's a follow-up, so I'm glad that we took those questions. Personally, I think this is destroying YouTube. The whole point is to learn how to do it, and if you don't have the time to do it, you probably shouldn't be a creator. Again, it depends. Some people are really good at finding great guests and interviewing them and getting a ton of value from those guests. Some people are really good at creating live content, unfiltered, authentic, and great, but they're not good editors. Some people are great editors, like amazing editors, but if you put them in front of an audience of, I don't know, 100,000 people and make them perform something live and have a conversation, they will be very uncomfortable doing that. So we all have different set of skills. And I do believe that you can be a creator if you're not a great editor, and you can be a great editor if you're not necessarily a person who is comfortable to be on camera, right? There's different variations of that. I hear what you're saying, especially when we imagine AI slops and like really lazily made, like completely AI generated clips or videos that do destroy YouTube. I agree with you 100%. I hate seeing this weird sloppy stuff when I'm going through my vertical feeds, and I never click on them, and I keep getting them served, which is insane. I agree. But remember that Restream Clips have no AI generated or AI created stuff. AI clips in Restream are simply automation for editing. There is nothing that is generated. Every single clip that we cut is you, your content, your face, your show, your guests. There's nothing that's added there. There was a mention of B-roll, which you can generate, but that's a very specific manual action that you have to take in order to edit. And I believe, Romario, correct me if I'm wrong, even that is not AI generated. It's just a stock footage, right?
The stock footage is not AI generated either.
It's stock footage. But yes, technically it's not your video. So but if you feel like B-roll illustrates your point, you need that. But we never use B-roll in our clips. So we just use our own conversation, our own guests, our own speakers. So there's nothing AI sloppy about that. And that's an important distinction. Nothing is added to your content. It's always you. The only thing that's automated is the movement of pixels, the like looking at the timeline and like moving your cursor and line. Like that's the only thing that you get automation for. Cool. I see more comments. I love that. We're having this great conversation. It's very important. So a few more comments here. I'm just going to go to pin section. Jose, I count on you because chat is getting more exciting. Question here from VKJTV. When will you allow to create our own layouts? I do believe that that's, again, hopefully that's a question about clips because that's our topic today. You do have layouts in Editor that you can, but you cannot create your own, right? Like they're presets.
Yeah, it would be great if you can clarify if it's specifically about clips or studio. But right now, there are a couple of presets. And in future, whether we introduce custom layouts, that is definitely something we could consider. But I think our goal is to really build an ecosystem here. So ideally, the layouts that maybe you're using in studio would also automatically apply when in those clips as well. So I'd really love to understand your use case. So please share it in the chat. But as it stands right now, we have a couple of custom ones that cover majority of cases, whether you have a speaker or it's by yourself. If you are a gamer and you kind of want to take a backseat and really focus on your content, we believe that the 8 different layouts that we currently have should suffice.
Absolutely. And another quick follow-up questions from the same creator. With clips, I'd like flying captions with graphics that apply to the content I'm speaking on. Example, a car crashes, a graphic and a caption together. Trying to envision that. So we already have captions, right? Like you can select the styles for captions, and there are a lot of different styles to choose from. We currently do not have, if I recall correctly, you cannot set up your own. You cannot basically create an asset of captions and upload it yet, right? You have to choose from what we offer.
Yeah, and with those captions, there are kind of animations that you can apply. So if you look in the editor and play around with how those captions coming in and out, there is some decent controls for you to make this feel more personal. But at the end of the day, it really does rely on transcript and speech. So you can, of course, like overlay graphics of a car crash to your very specific example. And those captions would still be overlaid above it if there is speech during that moment.
Absolutely. Good stuff. A few more here. Got any codes since I can't get sponsored to try this feature? Romario mentioned earlier that we do offer trials. So if you want to try clips, you don't have to necessarily pay right away. You can try it before you buy, and those trials are for new creators only. So if you haven't tried the clips, you can try it for a few days, and that applies for both your streams. So you can use your trial on your first live stream, or you can upload a video that you already have, or record something and see how that clips. So tons of options. If you are not sure how to get a hold of that trial, reach out to our support, 24/7, real humans, no AI, and they will walk you through. When does this launch? Is this the part of premium? So depending on what this is, Restream Clips are already available since December, since around the same time when Romario was available as our product manager. Yeah. The live clipping is available since spring, so it's getting better and better, but it's been around for a few months, so it's already kind of tested and established. Auto posting launching this week, so brand new feedback welcome. You can also try that as part of your trial package. If that's something that you are interested in, just reach out to our support and they will help you out. Good stuff.
I think one last one is maybe MCP that might have been related to that.
Yes.
And it's not tied to a specific, it's not tied to a specific subscription either.
Yes,
You would
absolutely.
need one to generate clips, or potentially if you want to go live with a specific, like no watermarks, etc. But MCP in itself does not require a subscription.
At all, yeah. So it's available on all plans, and clips are an add-on. So whatever basic plan, main plan you have is completely not related. Only live clipping and auto posting require the highest tier of our clipping subscription. So that if that's what you want to use at scale, you will need our 250 clips plan that I believe is $59 a month. So you can also trial that, but if you just want clips, it starts at $19 a month. And we do have an update for that too in just a second. One quick last comment on the conversation about clipping, right? I view clipping like food subscription box. I hate cooking, but I need to eat. Doesn't mean I can't cook. I just don't want to. It's a good perspective on that. And that's coming from the real editor, by the way. I know that squirrel. It's recognizable. So yeah, sometimes it is the question of optimizing your time. It's not the question of, if this is lazy, if this is, wrong. It's the question of how do you prioritize your day and what is the most important thing for you to focus on? Is it to research your guest, to prepare your live stream, to build out your scenes, to build out your layouts, to focus on the source of content that we'll be clipping, or to focus on editing? And sometimes the answer can be both. Sometimes the answer can be editing. My source does not need any researching. I'm such a great editor that I can take any mediocre interview and make a candy out of it. That might be the answer for you. But for a lot of people, for some people, the answer is no, I'd rather get great source and then use some automations and tools to make sure that the clipping is assisted.
I love this analogy because at the end of the day, you can still add your own herbs
flair,
and your own flair to it.
Yeah, spice it up.
It's that last mile of editing, right?
Absolutely. I love that. So there's a question about my AirPod Max. So I'm just going to highlight it real quick because it's good stuff. What system are you using that is allowing your AirPod Maxes so you can hear yourself? I cannot hear myself. That's the short answer. I trust our co-producer who checks in before we start our show to listen to us and tell us that we're more or less even level, that we both sound good. I do not hear myself, but I hear Romario and I hear our co-producer if he wants to talk to me in my ear. I don't hear myself, and honestly, for the better. I do use Rodecaster Duo, and that is my choice with my my Shure mic. So consider not listening to yourself. Just get a friend, get a partner to call in and be like, yeah, you sound good, and then this whole thing goes away. I do love the look of this AirPods, so that's kind of my signature look.
It is your signature look. I don't think I've ever seen you without them.
Without AirPods. Even in London when we met in a restaurant, I was totally wearing them, right?
Yeah, you're just wearing AirPods at dinner.
Part of my body at this point. I love that. We recently introduced, Restream recently introduced annual clips plan. That was something that we heard from you a lot. People were asking, can we change monthly subscription to annual? And there are 3 major reasons for that, I believe. Number one is some people want to set it and forget it for a year, right? They don't want to worry about billing. They don't want to think about how do I pay for Restream subscription? Then how do I pay for add-on subscriptions? And every month it becomes this billing thing. So instead, they would prefer to pay one time and then get their billing sorted out so they can focus on content. The second reason is people want to save. And of course, annual plans offer discounts. If you are buying Restream Clips on any plan for a year, you're getting 2 months free. It's a great deal, especially for people who are asking about pricing and budget conscious. That is a great way to save money on that stuff. If you are one of those people who asked for annual plans, now is the time to do them. They, I believe, are live right now for all plans. Is that correct?
Correct. If you want to upgrade and switch to annual, that is all set for you. Up until the 250 clip plan, obviously. And it is essentially 20% cheaper to be on the annual plan if that is something that you prefer to do or AKA 2 months free.
2 months free. Yeah, 2 months of clipping for free. That's really good. So I think I will anticipate one question that I would want to ask. Like, what happens if you? So obviously, the annual plan also has the limitations, and the limitations still apply per month, right? For example, if you have 50 clips per month, that technically annually provides you with what, 600 clips, but you cannot just shoot through them in the first 2 months, right? Like, it's still continues to apply on a monthly basis as a limit, even though the billing is taken care of.
Correct. So essentially, your credit allowance is the same per month. It's just about your actual billing cycle is different and cheaper if you do annual. If there is a case where you're seeing that you are running out of credit and you may be on the 50 or the 100 clip annual plan, you have the opportunity to still upgrade, and that will still be prorated. So don't feel like you're going to have burned that all money and then we're expecting you to also pay on top of that. We will actually calculate, how much left of the month or how much is left of that entire period of that billing cycle. So we're trying to give you as much flexibility as possible to kind of move up and scale with your content creation.
Absolutely. And if somehow you run out of limits on 250 clips per month, you can talk to our sales team and they will set you up with enterprise plan, which allows you to basically set your own limit and decide how many clips you need. That's mostly for large corporations, but if you guys work in one of them and you feel like clipping is going to be something that your marketing product or content team would benefit from, let us know. Our sales team is great. They will do the demo. You get a dedicated account manager. You get a bunch of awesome perks as an enterprise or custom plan customer. So that's how you can solve 250 clips is not enough. How can I get more type problem? All right. Final questions for the show. We are wrapping up. So let's see. I see this little sign. Hopefully that applies to annual plan because I know a lot of people asked, and I hope that was helpful for you. I see that there are a few questions about studio in general. I can see Natalie, our awesome moderator in YouTube, is responding to those. So thank you so very much. If there are any last questions you want to ask, now is the time. But yeah, this was a really, really exciting and fun show. I'm so happy that we covered a lot of ground today, right? Like we showed you a ton of different updates. It was packed and the chat was active. So thank you very much for bringing all your questions in today. This is the point of this live Q&As. We want to focus on your questions and we're not afraid of talking about money, about pricing, about why things are priced this way, about, some philosophy, moral dilemmas of the products that we offer. We do appreciate you showing up and spending this time with us. I know you have a lot of things to do, and for you to check in and join this conversation is we really appreciate it. It's super important for us to see you here. We love seeing people who come over every week, over and over, checking in, saying hi. This means the world to us, and we will be live again next Wednesday. Any other last comments from you before we say goodbye?
I'd say, I think again philosophically, clipping is really what you make of it, and these tools are really what you make of it, and you decide how far you want to go with automation and how much editorial control you want. We are not here to just shoot out slop content. We are really trying to build tooling that empowers you to create more at scale, and maybe this is the way for you to get to the next milestone, which is, oh, I can now afford to hire an editor, and that would make perfect sense, right? This is really what we're trying to do, is empower you with tooling that gets you to that next stage, versus kind of consolidate this ourselves. So please share as much feedback. We are working through all the ideas that are coming through on the ideas portal, and we're really excited to hear your feedback on all the features that we showed today.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you still have any comments and questions, you can comment under this video and under a lot of tutorials and guides that we post on YouTube all the time. If you are new to this channel, please make sure you give us a little subscribe. If you enjoy this content, that means a lot to us. Every little hype in subscribers or views or comments or likes makes a huge difference. That makes us excited and let us keep going with this content. And of course, thanks again, everybody, today. Thank you, Jose. He was our co-producer behind the scenes, helping us with clipping and scenes and just kind of listening and making us ready for any kind of question and any kind of comment. Thank you, Natalie, for being our awesome moderator in YouTube. Clips today were automated, so we don't have a person behind clips. But of course, it's the whole team of Romario, Gleb, Mike, Romario. Who else should we call out? Alexa, of course.
Alexa, Dimitro.
Mitro, yeah, there's a big team working behind it. So when we think about all the stuff that we're sharing with you today, that's a whole team trying to figure out how to make this experience best for you, how to make it reliable, how to make it easy, and how to optimize your costs. So that there's a whole big group out there. So thank you all for working on clips. There's a lot of clips love today, a lot of skepticism, a lot of anxiety, which is normal when we talk about AI. But we definitely see a lot of value, and a lot of creators are enjoying clips. And this right here is a great proof that clips are working. Clips are working for a lot of people. So we really appreciate that. Thank you, Romario, for being my co-host.
Thank you.
It's no small job to chat nonstop for an hour and a half with folks asking questions.
Ran out of water. I have a trick where I have the same glasses, so maybe it looks like it's just refilling all the time, but
it's just self-refilling. We should actually build some content around that next time, like how like Romario glass gets lower and fuller, like glass half full, right? Is it the sign of optimism?
So depends on the day.
Depends on the day. All right, wishing you all glasses half full with water and content. See you next week. Bye.